Hey y'all, if you're having problems with feral hogs where you hunt, I want to tell you about a new trap design that's out and available. It's an innovation in hog trapping that is extremely effective, and we think it's important for you to know about. Before I talk about the trap, the first thing I want to say is this is not a sponsored message. We received no money. The National Deer Association is not sponsored by the company that produces this trap. And in fact, this trap belongs to my dad. He bought it with his own money. So there's no money has changed hands here for us to provide this message. It simply is an innovation that we want to let you know about because the National Deer Association believes that controlling feral hogs is extremely important. This is a damaging, invasive animal, and it's something that we believe should be controlled wherever you hunt, anywhere the animal occurs in the United States. So that's why we're sharing this information. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this trap and how it works. And in fact, this trap is set for tonight, and we're going to come back in the morning and find out what we caught. I'll show you that as well. But first, let's talk a little bit about feral hogs and the damage they cause and why you should control them. So why are feral hogs a problem? Well, primarily from a hunter's point of view, it's because they compete directly with whitetails and other animals for food, particularly acorns and fruit. There's research that shows that hogs will actually monopolize the most productive acorn trees in the woods and prevent deer from using them. Deer do not like to share the same spaces with hogs, and so they have to go elsewhere. I've actually seen that happen on this property with persimmons. I like to bow hunt deer around persimmons in the early season, but on this property, the hogs monopolize the persimmons. They get there first, they check the trees regularly, and they prevent the deer from using that food source. It happens with a lot of other foods as well. And then the other thing too is that food analysis, diet studies of feral hogs shows that they eat almost anything out there that they can root up. Small mammals, reptiles, amphibians, insects, eggs of any kind that they come across, including turkey nests. So they're an extremely damaging animal to the environment. Again, they are a non-native animal. They don't belong on this continent, and they're invasive. The damage goes beyond that. The rooting that they do in food plots like this one causes craters so big that literally you have to spend time with a tractor and disc harrows to repair those craters. They root in woods roads and damage the roads, make them have to be repaired. They root in waterways and streams and damage the water quality and cause erosion. There's really just no end to the nuisance that hogs create wherever you have them. The trouble is, taking pot shots at feral hogs from your deer stand in fall is not going to control the population. We can't control these animals simply by hunting them with guns or bows. You've got to trap them. And you've got to do what's now called whole sounder removal. A sounder is the term for a large group of hogs that usually consists of several adult females, most of their offspring, a lot of other young females, and many young boars that run with them as well. The older boars tend to go off and be solitary, but these sounders include young boars as well. Catching the whole sounder at once in a trap is really the only way that is an effective control method at the local level. Trapping has become the way to do that, and a number of trap designs in the recent years have been effective at that. Generally, drop traps, mechanical traps, or traps are triggered in another way that drop down and drop a metal ring around the sounder. This has proven very effective. So what's different about the Pig Brig? It's a passive trap. It's not mechanical. It's a simple net that hogs can root their way under to get into the trap, but they can't get back out. When you set it in conditioning mode, you let the hogs get comfortable feeding on bait inside the trap with the net raised. Once they're conditioned, you lower the net over stakes to set the trap. Hogs use their natural rooting behavior to lift the net and get it to bait inside. Because the trap is non-mechanical, it's less expensive and it's easier to transport and set up. It's also extremely effective at catching hogs, as we have found.
The advantage to this trap is, compared to the other traps I've used with a door, whether it's electronically closed or you rig it with a treadle, when it closes, if the first hog trips it, that's it. This thing can just keep piling up. So as a matter of fact, it does better when you get hogs in it. The others are more inclined to come in with them. So yeah, it's a first-class trap.
And you don't have to sit up and watch a camera to know when to trip it. If you've got one of those electronic ones that fall, So this just seems to be the best answer for us. All you got to do is keep it baited till you get the hogs in there, and then you got a camera that does show you when you got them in, and that's when you come and deal with the hogs.
In 3 catches, we caught 21 here, 18, 3 and 1, 20, whatever that is, 22. We caught 16 at the other set, and now we moved it back to here. So this is our 3rd set. We've caught 39 hogs total.
For a couple of days now, my dad and his friends have been getting pictures of hogs feeding underneath the trap here at this new site. They seem to be comfortable, and it seems to be time to set the trap. So today, Dad and his friend Kenny Copeland came. They have baited the trap again. They've set the rings on the stakes inside. So the trap is ready for hogs to come back tonight, root their way in, hopefully, to stay. And we'll be back here in the morning to let you know how it works out.
I don't like to disturb them anymore until we can get the guys here and get ready with the trailer and everything. Because when you go up there, they're going to start charging the net. And if they're going to cut the net, some of them will really charge at it. So we're going to let them sleep. There's 1 or 2 moving around. I can't tell exactly how many in there, but I think we've got a dozen. I'm going to have a dozen at least.
Well, we had a great morning. Caught even more than we anticipated based on the pictures, the trail camera pictures. But we had 32 in this trap, 12 adults and 20 piglets, young pigs. Of the adults, only 1 was a boar. So 11 adult sows and a whole bunch of future boars and sows. What we know about the feral pig's reproduction rate is that the average sow reaches sexual maturity at 6 to 8 months of age. So these piglets would have been breeding 6 months from now in fall, or around that time. And the average sow can have 1.5 to 2 litters per year. So as many as 3 litters over 2 years. Each litter ranges from about 1 to 14 piglets, though the average is 6 to 8. So the reproduction rate on feral hogs is just sky high. Taking out 32 here today like we did, particularly as many sows as we did and their young, and some of these sows in the trap were pregnant, this is a very good lick for the future of hog control here at this site. We recommend you always wear latex gloves when handling or dressing feral hogs to prevent infection by brucellosis, a bacteria that's carried by some feral hogs. Gloves help ensure that bacteria from feral hog blood does not get inside a cut or abrasion on your skin. By the way, we do make every effort to share or donate meat from trapped hogs. We think this is a very effective innovation in hog trapping. It's certainly working for us. And if you've got a feral hog problem, this is an option to look into. This kind of hole sounder removal is how we will eventually get a better grasp on controlling feral hogs.